It's been a week now, and in the last week I've covered 1100 miles. I have managed to get a bloodshot eye from a stone, my arms ache, and I just feel overall exhausted, but I don't care because I have the biggest smile on my face because every single day of that last week I've been driving this, the Caterham 420R. And in case you don't know what Caterhams are, let me explain it to you very briefly now. 1957, Colin Chapman, the guy behind Lotus, came up with the idea of simplify and add lightness, and he wanted to build a car, a kit car that a regular punter out there could build himself and take it on track days, hence the Caterham 7. And since then they have been selling these either as kits or either one fully made and fully built, and over the years it hasn't really changed that much. It still looks quite goofy and funny in its own right. There has been different engines over the last few years, whether K-series engines, Honda 5-blade engines, but the overall philosophy hasn't changed. And this one, this Caterham 420R, this is very fast, very fast, 420 horsepower per tonne, 2 litre Ford Duratec motor, 210 horsepower, and it's only pushing 560 kilograms, 5-speed manual gearbox. This is a car strictly for track, but in this particular spec, which I absolutely adore, it's finished in volcano red, and usually Caterhams are finished in a very outlandish colour like green, blue with crazy stripes. This is very classy indeed. In fact, I'm going to give you a little walk around of the Caterham 420R because we haven't done one of these in a while. So as you can see, it's running what Caterham tells me they're more road legal tyre, an Avon ZZS. And if you don't know these tyres, these are still a very track focused tyre. I'd like to think what other track focused tyres they have. If we follow over the front here, as you can see, we have got Bilstein suspension right there, which is quite cool. And I would show you the bonnet, but it requires a 2-man job, so it's a Ford Duratec engine. What do you need to know? You've got an exhaust down the side of here, and inside, excuse my bag, you've got these doors, which can be removed just like that. In fact, you can just take it off like that, and your door is removed. It's so simple in the way it's designed, and it's pretty simple to put it back on as well too. Inside, it's very direct. You've got a tiny Momo steering wheel, you've got bits of carbon, and you've got switches. That's your kill switch right here, that's your key, which is there, and you've got a heater. Right, it's time to cut the crap and tell you what this car's like to drive. First off, the handling balance. Well, at first you think, oh, it's a bit aggressive and it's a bit feisty, but the handling and the grip is actually quite manageable. You get a bit of understeer, but you can neutralise it with the throttle. And the engine, yellow car, 6 miles an hour PM, and this big monster zing all the way to the red line. The red line is nearly 8,000. And the weight delivers its power because it really goes. Whoa! It's in nuts! Whoa! I love the way this thing goes up into the corner. I love the steering. I love the grip. I love the engine. It just goes. And it eggs you on. It eggs you on a bit too much, but wow! When you start mooching around town, it's actually quite pleasant. I've done a 300-mile trip this week, and the rider comfort is actually quite nice. These seats are actually comfy. No dramas at all. Yes, you do feel a little bit tired, but for something like this, I've been in more uncomfortable seats in most expensive cars. Right, with most supercars, it's got complicating control settings. With this, it's very simple. You just give it some revs and dump the clutch. And just like that, it gets to 60 in 3.8 seconds. So 330 miles an hour. And I promise you, you don't want to go any faster. That's probably one thing I'm not going to miss. Getting in and out of this Caterham. It's not the most dignifying way of getting out of it, but I don't care. Every time I jump in this, it's just an adrenaline drug. What is a 620R like? God knows. Anyway, let's conclude with this Caterham 420R. What do I think of it? Well, as a driving instrument, it is just right up there with the GT3 RSs, right up there with the GT2 RSs, Speciales, you name it. It's just so special to drive. If you understand driving, then you know that these Caterhams are just phenomenal. The steering's telepathic, the engine, yeah, you might think it's a Ford lump, but it's just a crazy, crazy motor. My complaints about it, I wish it just revved another 300-400 RPM. I think the red line's at 7,600 on this, but I wish it just revved to 8,500, because once you get them cams working at 5 and you get it working all the way to the top end, you just feel like you've run out of puff a little bit. But that's my slight complaint. What are the other complaints? The exhaust box, I think I already mentioned that. You need to be careful getting in and out of it, otherwise you end up burning your shins, which a few people have already. What else? That's it. I can't think of it. Oh yeah, it costs nearly 40 grand, but if I had the money, and I've had other cars in my dream car garage, i.e. GT2 RS, DBS, that sort of stuff, then yeah, I'd have something like a Caterham. I thought this car was only going to be enjoyable on track days and not much else on the road, but on the road, especially in the summertime with weather like this at the moment, it's really enjoyable, even at slow speeds. And the way people respond to you and the way people look at you in this is actually quite cool. Everybody wants to talk to you, everybody wants to know what it is. It's just got this happy appearance, whereas if you drove a Ferrari or even a Porsche, you come across as a bit stuck up. So there is something cool about it. Yes, we know it's not practical and you can't use it every day, and the roof is just a joke, if I'm honest. I didn't even bother using it. And yeah, you have to basically keep the forecast on standby with you constantly, because if it rains, which it has, and I've had the roof open and the doors open, it was a little bit of a nightmare. But it's awesome, absolutely awesome. And more importantly, if you want to learn about a way a car behaves and a way a car drives, and you want to learn car control, heel and toe, maximum grip, how a car loads up through the steering, if you just want to understand a way a car behaves in its raw X-ray sort of, you know, sense, then look no further. Because if I was to teach someone car control, I think I'd use this or something a little bit less, like a 360 or some of the lower variants with the skinnier tyres, to teach them how a car drives and how a car behaves and how a car should be made. Because in terms of chassis, to think that this is what, 60 odd years old now, and the philosophy hasn't really changed that much, it's brilliant. I enjoyed it, absolutely enjoyed it. It has given me a bloodshot eye, but I can forgive it because it's so cool. And thank you very much, Caterham, for letting me have this car for the week. Can I have your 620R, please? If you reckon that they should lend me a 620R, then write that in the comments down below, and we can do a proper track video with that as well too. Anyway, please like, please subscribe, please hit the bell notification icon, and make sure you check out for more hooning videos. I think so. Hooning and consumer advice videos, and yeah, and some other bits. Okay, I'm off. Bye.